Ring, 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 ring.
Yo.
You know what day it is, right?
Oh, shoot. Let me get ready.
Caped up! Welcome to the vlog.
My name is Matthew.
And I'm Danny. And it's new comic book day! What do we have planned today? You might be asking.
Number 1,
We're gonna purchase the comics. 2.
we're gonna go to a location where we think that character would eat, and we're gonna read the comic and review it there. Number 3,
I think I remember Matthew with a little bit more hair. See you at the first stop! Absolute Catwoman. We are at a Cuban restaurant because Catwoman is Cuban. I had an empanada.
I had 3 croquetas.
Okay, let's get into the comic.
Danny, I want to know your rating on a scale of 1 to 10, and I want to say it at the same time.
Points? Let's do points.
No points.
I want to do a 0.5 points.
Why?
Because it makes it so much easier.
3, 2, 1,
6.5. It's really fun, has a great story arc progression. They had a lot in it. It had great art. It's really expanding on the last issue. It was left with so much mystery. Now we have a lot more understanding on the character. Honestly, I'd probably bump it up to a 7 now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, I did enjoy this issue more than the first issue. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first issue, and I wasn't really a big fan of this one. Like, it was fun. I'm glad that it's not like it's a backstory of Catwoman as well as a normal story. So it's not just a one-issue backstory. We're getting a whole series to get her backstory and to see who she becomes at the end, which I like. But so far, I don't really care for her too much. I'm not emotionally invested into this character. And I'm excited about the villain and excited to see who the real main villain is, but I'm just not in love with it yet.
This comic starts off with Catwoman is trying to figure out what the sphere that her friend Holly gave her is really about.
In doing so, she meets up with her former team, the Calicos, all searching for the same orb.
They then get confronted by
Invisible ninjas!
and Cassandra Cain. Was there an explosion?
Yes.
Was there a flood?
Yes.
Was there a new villain?
There was.
In the end, we find out what the orb was, which you have to read to find out, and the main villain, Cassandra Cain, gets the orb.
We also find out that Cassandra Cain is actually working for somebody. Who, I don't know. My first thought is always Deathstroke, but we know Deathstroke. We know he's not doing that.
He's with the Robins.
Exactly.
Now we're going to... We're at Panda Express. Batman would only have white rice, chicken, and vegetables because he's on a lean protein diet, only eating what's efficient for his body. Now this was a banger issue.
The amount of restraint Danny and I had to have to not completely yell to the top of our lungs in this Panda Express. Like, honestly, good job to us because banger after banger was in this issue.
This is our absolute Batman rating, 9.5.
9.5? Really?
I'll go 9. 9. Why, this freaking comic is insane. It's insane. It's a great comic. This issue is basically a backstory for Harley Quinn.
Not only is the issue great backstory, but we're also getting a lot of the current story with it, which I really enjoy. I sort of don't like when it's just a backstory, but you add a little bit of both and you do it right, it's so much more fun to read.
In the beginning, Batman and Harley Quinn are running away from the Robins.
In this issue, we're learning more about the Robin dynamic, and I'm loving Red Hood. Like, Dick is telling everybody, hey, we gotta pull back, we gotta recharge, we gotta stop. And Red Hood, he's going on, he's saying, no, not yet. Robin 2 searching on. He wants Batman.
So we progress from the story, and we see how Harley and her mom are away in a separate house because Harley's mom hates her dad. And the dad didn't even know that the mother was pregnant with Harley when they split up. So the mom is trying to take down this corporation that she used to work with, which would be Jack Grimm's corporation, aka the Joker.
So Harley's mom keeps leaving, coming back, leaving to work, coming back. But every single time she comes back home, she talks to Harley less and less. So Harley has to go out and make friends online, which is where she gets her tech expertise.
One day, Harley gets really, really worried for her mother because the mom just stopped talking to Harley completely, and she goes looking for her mom. And what she finds is horrifying. Also, while this is all happening, Harley actually got in contact with her father by doing a DNA test.
Throughout this issue, we had a reoccurring metaphor of Ghost in the Closet, or Harley Quinn being scared of her closet creeping open slightly bit when she was a little girl. Finally, once her mom starts talking to her, the closet opens up, and instead of closing the closet shut like how she always does, she walks into the closet. And when she does, she finds out that it's another room, and an elevator stops dropping. She walks through a long hallway, looking through windows that are like cages, and inside she sees mutated people. You have two people connected from the head, and you also find in another glass cage a man with words written in another language on his head, and he just dies. And inside his body starts getting ripped up, and you see a little child come outside of his body with the same head sign. We think that is Calendar Man. Is Calendar Man immortal? Does he die of old age and just come back? What the hell? You know what else we found in that place?
What?
Her mom, dressed as Harley Quinn, the normal Harley Quinn. She is crazy. She's not looking for Joker anymore. She's working with Joker. So obviously, our Harley Quinn, the little girl one, runs away and goes back up the elevator.
When she comes up from the elevator, she hears a door knock and realizes her father's finally here to help her out. When she opens the door, she finds out that her father is the Joker. She's like, this can't be true. Then you see the Harley Quinn and the Joker, and she's like, this can't be real. And then he's like, don't worry, Puddin'. She'll figure it out. And now the Joker and Mom Harley Quinn, not the child one, the mom is with Joker again, and little Harley runs away and refuses to accept the reality.
But at the end, you see Batman, who heard what she said but didn't really listen too much to it, go to his father's grave. And he goes there and he goes, he's gonna be there. And he starts digging up the grave. And when he opens the grave, his father's dead body is not in there.
He gets a phone call. And who is it? None other than Scarecrow himself.
Oh, that's not too bad, right?
It's a video call.
Oh!
And guess what?
What?
His dad is malnourished and chained into the corner of a cell. And alive. And Scarecrow's like, look who finally called, Thomas. Turns the phone, and he's just like, don't let him see me like this. Don't let him see me like this. Bro. And Batman was like, no! Oh my freaking goodness. This was a peak-ass issue. 8.59, definitely.
You know, after hearing us talk about this issue, it might just be a 9. We are
Batman?
We're eating at
Mickey D's.
Why are we eating at McDonald's? Because where else would a 10-year-old boy want to eat? Exactly. McDonald's. So I have very strong feelings toward this comic, and I would love to hear your rating at the same time. 3.5.
3.5?
This comic was below mid. By a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of the story. Every time the villain is in the comic, the art is amazing. But I'm not a fan of how they draw Gwen. Every single time Gwen's in the panel, her eyes are in separate positions. I really don't. The art isn't my favorite.
Honestly, wasn't the worst comic ever for me, at least. It's just, you really have to remember, this kid's 10 years old. The way I had to think about it was, imagine if this was a cartoon, and these little one-liners that they said that would not make sense in any other situation would have to make sense, because it's like a cartoon. You know how in cartoons they say things that you probably would never say in a situation? That's the way I had to think of it, and I had a little bit more fun because of that reason.
My issue with that is that this isn't a cartoon. If it was a cartoon, these one-liners would be great, but he had 2 one-liners in the same bubble. 2 one-liners in the same bubble. I'm hating these one-liners. I can't. Especially when you have 3 in the same panel, 2 in the same bubble. I can't do that.
Let's get into the story, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
This comic starts off with Ben and Gwen. Gwen is driving the car. No, I'm gonna chase down this ginormous alien. Which, what kind of little girl would ever do that? And how is she even driving an RV?
So Ben, being the alien, jumps out of the way. And of course, the little girl, being a little girl, comes outside of the RV with a tennis racket to attack the alien that she just saw. Yeah, because I would take out a tennis racket to assault an alien.
So then Ben turns into a human again. Gwen isn't even that shocked as she should be. But she's like, how did this happen? Like, blah, 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 blah. So then they go into the RV, and the RV autopilots because Grandpa Uncle Ben.
It's Grandpa.
Just Grandpa, if for some reason it's like a covert operative, whatever, clicks a button, RV starts driving by itself. Gwen and Ben aren't even that freaking shocked about it.
They're making one-liners in the car. They're in an RV going, we don't know how fast. They don't know who's driving. Ben, as a human, little 10-year-old, are we going to take out? Maybe they want to McDonald's, bro. He's going to catch up with us. You're going to see a flying RV.
They go into the military base that we saw from last issue, and there is a giant crab alien mech shooting things down, destroying people, which, let me tell you, beautifully done. Like, the art is amazing. Amazing.
So Gwen and Ben are looking out the window and they see this crab monster. Remember, they're children. Pick up a soldier and rip their hand through his guts. Now, Gwen, being a little girl, should be shocked. She goes, people are dying out there. We have to do something. What type of unfazed little girl is looking at dead people and be like, we should help them out? What?
Ben starts fighting this crab monster as an alien. He turns to the crystal dude, starts fighting the guy. Then he turns back into a human, somehow evades one of the attacks.
As a human, the alien looks down, so he's gonna kill him. And Ben, being the normal 10-year-old, goes, I tried my best, you can kill me.
Yeah, I don't think any 10-year-old would ever say that ever.
I'd be crying my eyes out, dude.
And then he turns into forearms after that, and then starts because Uncle Ben had a freaking EMP because Grandpa had like this freaking EMP that distorted the freaking alien's mind. How? I don't know. But what's it called? And beats the alien up, and then it ends off with them running away, and somehow they escaped a undercover military base. But then you go into to a different place where you see the head bad alien saying, maybe we should take this Earth a little more seriously since they killed our crab guy.
While he's saying that, his ship is destroying a planet, either moon or a planet. Okay.
Anyways, we're going to the next spot. Where are we going? We're in Denny's.
We chose Denny's for Clayface because where do you go when you have nowhere else to go in the middle of the night?
Denny's.
Denny's.
Rating it out of 10. 7.
7.
8 is so high for you, bro.
Fantastic issue. It was so fun, interesting. There were some very big shock factors that had us both almost yelling at Denny's, just like Absolute Batman had us. Like, come on.
Nowhere near. Don't even say Absolute Batman near this comic, bro. It was a really good first issue. Not a great first issue. Explains enough for the character, but not a lot about the character. It still left a lot of mystery for us. It was a good first issue, but not a great first issue. This is the first time I've ever read anything about Clayface or any media about Clayface. I'm actually really excited for the movie, so I feel like this is a great preparation for it. Tell me why you're giving it an 8.
This comic reminded me somewhat of Martian Manhunter, as you are as confused as the main character of the story. Except for this issue, I was way less lost. Like in Martian Manhunter, I didn't know what was happening half the time until the end. But here, I can actually go through his emotions with him more like personally, as I can actually understand the comic. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going through that trauma with him. Clayface has been one of my top 3 DC villains since I was a child, just because I love his powers, I love his look, I love how he's a giant monster. I just love Clayface.
Now let's get into the story, shall we?
The story starts off with Clayface in a small cube, and he's talking to some type of doctor or therapist that has him in prison there in Arkham Towers. You find out through that doctor that there are 8 Clayface. It says 8 Clayfaces.
8 Clayfi.
Which is freaking crazy.
Clayface is like, hey, I'm mentally okay to leave now. And the guy, the therapist is like, no, you're not, bro. You're not. You're still saying you're this big time actor. And he's like, well, guess what? You can't stop me. Boom! Breaks out of the cage. Where is he? You don't know. You see security breach in the security office. They're like, where is he? And then you see clay falling from the sky, no, from the roof.
You see a bunch of faces on the roof as well, and it's all red panel. It looks super sick.
So then he seeps into the security's eyes and all of their holes, and he explodes, and they die. And he takes form as one of the security guards when he leaves the prison. And when he steps outside, the police officer's like, stop!
They go, a Clayface is out of containment. He goes, I'm not a Clayface, I'm the Clayface.
And then he gets shot like 53 times. But It doesn't hurt him because he's Clayface. And then he goes into the
sewers. So he goes through the sewers and he escapes whatever prison he was in. And when he gets out of the sewers, he goes back into his regular human form, which is an actor called, I believe, Basil Carl. And when he looks up to the sky, he sees billboards and signs of Basil Carl, the person he thinks he is, in a bunch of movies that are coming out. And he's like, who am I if I'm not Basil and I'm not Todd?
Then you see on the news that a Clayface has left Arkham Asylum, Arkham Towers, which we already know already, and we get a little quick snippet of Batman capturing him, which was super cool. I think it's really cool to see how I love to see every universe's different Batman and how like now I have a little bit more of a connection with Batman. I think it's super cool to see every universe's Batman. The comic ends with the real Basil Carlo and a woman that go back to a penthouse, and it looks like he's really pressuring onto her, and she doesn't seem super freaking comfortable with it, which is super weird. It turns out Basil Carl is also a Clayface. So, really interesting comic book, really fun, really looking forward to the next issue.
Definitely, I'll be definitely getting the next issue.
Where are we going next again?
We're in a room.
Why are you in a room, Matthew?
Because there's only one place Rascal Randy would be. Nowhere in public. Nowhere where he can be seen. He would be alone. In a room, eating carrots like we were.
Let's rate this out of 10.
7.5. What?
It was a good story. What the frick?
It was a great story. By itself, it would be okay. Because he's from Exquisite Corpses, it's great. But due to that factor, together, I'd put it at a 7.
I give it a 7.5. I really enjoy the story. I mean, I honestly, same reasons as him. I think I might have enjoyed it more than him.
Maybe. Danny and I are huge fans of Exquisite Corpses. We were in it from day one. We love it. My personal favorite killer from Exquisite Corpses is Rascal Randy himself. So my expectations were through the roof. And I think it was great. It's really building the story.
Let's get into the story, shall we?
It starts off with a girl named Lily getting dropped off on her first day of work to a roller skating rink. And when she walks in, she sees her coworker tied up on a rope, strung to the roof, not killed, but tied through his body, getting beaten by 3 teenagers.
Those guys end up getting scared off, and then she helps out her coworker. He's diabetic. She ended up having to pick him up and run towards a bar to put soda in his mouth so that he had enough sugar, because he had like super low blood sugar. And he was already like passed out.
So the kid who needed the sugar was named Eli, and it turns out that his great aunt was the bartender of the bar. So later, Lily and Eli become friends, and she goes over to his house, and they're watching murder documentaries because she's a big fan. And when she has to go to the bathroom, she stumbles into a room, which is a shrine of Rascal Randy, the character, not the killer.
Then it cuts to a different scene where those same bullies are bullying another kid. It's a group of 3 guys. One guy is borderline drowning another kid, and the 2 other guys behind him is like, hey yo, chill, you're gonna drown him. The guy's like, fine. The other guy's like, fine, I'll stop, right? Then the other 2 guys are like, okay, we're gonna dip now. And he's like, okay, you freaking losers, bro, I'm just gonna stay here. He on a swing, right? So he was on a swing, and when he's going up the swing, he sees this guy. He goes back down. He sees Rascal Randy in the bushes, bro. He goes back up. He's like, what the hell? He sees this guy. He goes back down. He sees Rascal Randy in front of him. He goes up, and he's like, he sees this guy again. He comes down, and Rascal Randy's jumping on top of him. It's like a freaking Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare, bro.
So we found out that Eli's great-grandfather actually created the character Rascal Randy. And his mother was obsessed with the character and tried to bring the character into live-action movies, which turns out didn't work out too well. But through all that, she collected so many costumes and so many equipment and memorabilia that's what made the room. It's his mother's old room. And by the way, his mother passed away.
The book then ends with an establishing shot of like the motel, and a little zoom in of the window, and then a zoom in of inside the motel room, and it's like a behind angle of a chair, and we're assuming it's Rascal Randy.
You see the TV is muted, and the character, who we don't know who it is watching a Rascal Randy show and quoting the words of the show word by word without hearing it, which means, obviously, from this context, that he's obsessed with the show and with the character Rascal Randy. So I personally think that it's Rascal Randy back there.
Where are we going next, Matthew? So this is the Comic Olympics. We have 5 categories. Each category is going to have their Comic Olympian. What are the 5 categories, Matthew?
Cover, story, art, ending, and cliffhanger. And yes, they're different.
Let's get into it. Who do you think deserves the cover of the week? It is Clayface issue 1. I'm gonna pop up a picture. Right there. Oh yeah.
The Olympian for best story of the week is Absolute Batman, issue 22. Absolute banger of a story.
The Comic Olympian for art is boom! Absolute Batman. Holy freaking frick. That was freaking awesome. Matthew, pop up an example. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I do have to say, Clayface came pretty close, but that was a solid second. It had some amazing one-pages. Now, for the best ending this week, I think it is hands down, no debate about it. Show it, Danny. Absolute Batman issue 22. Absolute peak ending. Holy frick. Holy frick. Holy frick.
Dude, I know how this looks. I know we look like fanboys. You gotta be there. You gotta understand. Now, come on. We did have a great cliffhanger with Catwoman. We had a pretty decent cliffhanger with Clayface. But bro, nothing compares to Bring It Out. Bam! Freaking Absolute Batman. Like, come on. We have the receipts. Last but not least, we got Cliffhanger Olympian, which today is going to have to go to the reigning champion, Absolute Batman! Come on, bro. I know how it looks. Alright? I know how it looks, and we're never gonna beat the allegations. We are fanboys. But guess what? We love it, and we are passionate about it, and we came with the receipts, bro. This was the best cliffhanger ever! I mean, if you're invested into the story, you're going to like that cliffhanger. Give me some knowledge, Matthew.
Not only is Joker been a villain since the beginning, we have a new Harley Quinn. We have the Harley Quinn from the original universe practically being in the Absolutes while having a good version as well. And we have a Immortal Calendar Man. That was one of my favorite parts, even though it might mean nothing. Like, how can you not be... This is an amazing cliffhanger. Batman's father was taken. His father was taken from him. And what are we going to do? We're going to read the next issue. Because what the hell? We have to know what happens.
We have to know. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
this concludes our first new comic book day vlog and our first
Comic Olympics! Like and subscribe.
Winner!